Here's 3 dud receivers you should take out of your lineup this week because they're going to have a bad game and they're not going to do much. The first guy's Juju SmithSchuster. It was nice to see SmithSchuster last week come up out of nowhere finally after struggling the last 2 or 3 weeks. SmithSchuster had 9 catches for 85 yards on 15 targets, but this week it's bad news for him as they verse a Baltimore defense coming off the bye. You know, it's a big game for Baltimore. It seems like they never get over the hump in big games, but I think this week they're going to come out healthy and fired up, and they got Ngakwe also in a trade a few weeks ago to add to the defense from the Minnesota Vikings. Juju Smith-Schuster, I said Ben's going to be a dud. I'm going with Juju also. They're going to be on him. Last week, I know he had a great game versus Tennessee, but this Baltimore D is a different animal than the Titans. Juju, he's not getting much separation. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's not into it this year. But this guy was drafted at the 2nd or 3rd round in fantasy drafts, and he's definitely not living up to the hype. So Juju Smith-Schuster, he'll be the first guy I'm benching this week. The second guy is Jarvis Landry. I know he's the number 1 receiver over there now in Cleveland with Odell Beckham out, but Landry, he's just had a horrible season for the most part. He's getting the targets and stuff, but he's not putting up the numbers. Let's be honest. I think he's only had 2 or 3 games in double digits, and that's in PPR leagues. So if you're in a standard or a half point, I don't think Jarvis Landry's going to do much. I know he's got a plus matchup on paper versus the Vegas Raiders, who teams have been scoring on all season, but I don't see Landry doing much. I see this game being more of a Kareem Hunt and Kareem Hunt and the tight ends type of game, and maybe Higgins getting open a little, but I don't trust Jarvis Landry. The most he's going to get you, I think, is 10 to 12, and if you're starting him like I see teams starting him as their number 2 receivers this week, that's how bad some teams are hurting or whatever. I just don't think he's going to have a great performance. Is Jordan final guy that I'm going to say he's going to have a dud week at receiver, and a lot of teams I see in leagues and pickups also is A.J. Green. He was horrible the first 5 weeks of the season. The last 2, Green finally woke up now, and he's been putting up some decent fantasy numbers. But Green, he might get traded after this week also. The deadline's on Tuesday, but this week, I just don't like Green versus Tennessee. I think they're going to try to take him out and let the youngsters beat him, and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, who's having a great year. So A.J. Green, defenses have still focused on him. The last 2 weeks, he's put up pretty good games. I think 16 and 14 in PPR leagues. But this week, I could see a downfall for A.J. Green and him going back to those dud performances. Green, he's up there, like I said, in age. He's losing some speed. He's reminding me of Dez Bryant pretty much when he was at the end with the Dallas Cowboys. And he would have a smash game here and there. But this week, I don't see Green having it versus the Tennessee Titans at all. So that's 3 dud receivers this week that if you have them in your lineup and you can't do nothing about it, it is what it is. But just don't expect these guys to be a big factor in helping you win in your Week 8 matchups this week.